Hey, welcome back everybody. To start off part 3, I just want to do a quick recap of some of the key components we've touched on so far. We started off with the geometry of snowflakes, and we learned that they seem to form directly from the flower of life, which is said to be the grid of the universe itself. We learned about fractals and how they are infinite repeating patterns, and not only is the snowflake a fractal from the flower of life, but the entire universe is likely a fractal itself. We saw how the flower of life is simply spheres and cubes repeating on all scales, and then we saw how this cube and sphere sacred knowledge is encoded in artwork all over the ancient world even to this day. We learned a lot about the golden ratio, which could be thought of as fractal spirals across space and time. We discovered our body's aura is called a torus field, aka the yin-yang, and how the torus field is created by our heartbeat as each pulse of energy flows in between its north and south electromagnetic poles with golden ratio spirals keeping it balanced. We saw how the study of sound, frequency, and vibration, known as cymatics, literally morph and manipulate its surrounding fields, and if those sounds are in harmony, it creates balanced forms of complex geometry. This principle then shows us how we can move from a state of unbalanced chaos to a state of harmony and order, because our thoughts each give off a vibration or frequency that can dramatically alter our state of being and either heal or damage our DNA. In relation to cymatics, we learned how our DNA links directly with the musical scale and how those infinite scales also link our torus field with the flower of life, all thanks to the golden ratio. Then we come to my main focus, most commonly known as Kundalini, and how in my view it was once the basis of religion which was lost throughout the course of history, but is making a comeback worldwide right now. We saw that we can learn to harmonize ourselves with all of this sacred knowledge and eventually tap into an entire new level of existence, such as harnessing power directly from the universe, as well as experiencing enlightenment with a third eye awakening, literally seeing the light and merging with it in an incredibly blissful way. Now that we've refreshed our minds a bit, I'd like to get into the core of all this by showing you an interview I chopped up and added visuals to, which is from Drunvalo Melchizedek, who many believe to be the godfather of the spirit science movement and has been around since long before I was even born. Get ready to learn about Birkeland currents and how they are electric plasma currents that link the entire universe together and are fundamental in experiencing oneness/Kundalini.
Kundalini, nothing more than Birkeland currents. This knowledge was known many eons ago. Not only is this at the galactic scale, but it's at our body scale as well.
A Birkeland current will go across the universe in zero time, not like a nanosecond or something, but absolutely zero time. It'll move across the universe, and it doesn't matter how far it is. It could be, the universe could be 1 billion light years across, and it would still do it. This changes everything. It changes everything. Now the very thing that we're looking at each other, electromagnetic fields, that's what we're using to see each other with. We could do the same thing on Birkeland currents and spread images and just what we're doing right now all the way across the whole universe. And further, what they've discovered is it doesn't just go from point A to point B. It spherically goes out to all levels of existence. It expands to the smallest world, to the biggest world. It communicates with everything. You can use this in meditation and connect yourself to very large, huge areas of space and time and dimension. This Birkeland electrical current comes out of the sun and follows the gravitational field back to the earth and hits the earth, and she responds with the aurora borealis. It's as above, so below. But the so below is us. And that's a really amazing thing. If you go back into the sacred writings, they will talk about something that nobody really got very well. And that is that the human being is a mortal coil, an electrical coil. And we're a mortal one. We're a biological mortal coil. And what does that mean? That's what I've been spending the last 3 years on understanding. We are a coil. And that coil is one that is capable of producing electricity on such high levels of energy that we can't even believe, but we can prove it. And it comes out of the top of us and stream, just like if you see a galaxy out there and you see how the disk comes out, and then you see these two beams of lights when they're streaming, these thin beams of light that come out of the top and the bottom. You look, they're all over out there if you look at them. They are streaming Birkeland currents and connecting with all life everywhere. As an individual, we can do this too. With the Birkeland currents, it connects you to all life, and enlightenment is instantaneous, like a lightning bolt. You have to know how to move this energy through the body, and we know how now. It is also incredibly beautiful and pleasurable. It's all about your heart and the beating of your heart, of how the heart makes the electrical flow that goes up and down your spine, and which creates this 60-foot approximately magnetic field around your body. Literally, every person on earth is connected to the geomagnetic field, whether they want to be or not, and every single person on earth is connected now to each other, and we don't know it.
That's pretty incredible, isn't it? I sure can't wait to hear more details about his findings down the road. But now that we've gotten to the core of what this is all about, I just want to take a minute to discuss the basics of meditation, as well as how to get started if you're new to it. There's many uses or goals when it comes to meditation, and here's some of the most common in my view. Gain peace of mind, connect to nature and source, gain clarity, seek guidance, pray or express gratitude, seek bliss or enlightenment, gain new insights, gain clairvoyance, astral projection, discover purpose or meaning, improve overall health, reduce fatigue, discover your true self, increase awareness, and so much more. Meditation means different things to different people. To me, it means to focus or to heighten one's awareness in all aspects, even if that focus is on letting go and having no focus at all. My goals are mostly understanding consciousness and merging with the love and light itself. People often ask me, how do I meditate? Well, at the core of it all, I say find a place and get comfortable. My favorite is in nature with my back against a tree, but anywhere that you can find solitude will do. Simply relax to the max and try to let go of all worry. Unwanted thoughts often arise, just try to let them come and go and always return to that place of warm peace and comfort that naturally radiates from your beating heart. Learn to be in the present moment and feel the tingly sensation of each peaceful breath being absorbed/processed by your body. Eventually, with practice, you can merge mind, body, and spirit and become pure consciousness/love and light, your true self. And once you've learned to get the basics of relaxing and breathing calmly and naturally, I think you should first and foremost know that your own personal progress as far as going deeper and deeper into meditation can take any number of separate paths or techniques to help you get there. And you can even have results by doing nothing at all and simply letting go to the point that your consciousness merges with the fractal universe all on its own. But in my opinion, that seems to take untold amounts of time and patience, which in the past people could spend a lifetime in search of such an enlightening experience and still never achieve it. So with that said, I'll present you with a multitude of separate tips and techniques that can dramatically increase your success rate. But first off, I do need to caution everyone here that you must seriously try and listen to your intuition and not rush into this, or try to force these energies to prematurely awaken within you, because it's often called the fire serpent for a reason, and can be very overwhelming if you don't have the proper hygiene for bliss, as Dan Winter teaches. I'll also cover this hygiene for bliss as well, but in general, the simple act of meditation alone will most likely not awaken these energies, so unless you are using your focused intention to activate it, you should have nothing to worry about, because it's usually a gradual process that increases this energy the more you practice. The requirements for bliss hygiene include a healthy diet with low sugar being vital, because sugar is the leading cause of inflammation, and inflammation is thought to be the #1 cause of depression. So, the less sugar and the more organic and natural, the better. And the focus is to eat more foods that increase your body's electrical charge, since charge is what it's really all about. It's also a great idea to fast and to clean out your gut/colon, because any buildup along the way can cause serious blockages in your chakras. And considering there's 7 main chakras, and fasting is said to be mentioned 77 times in the Bible, there could very well be a connection considering all the other evidence in relation. Try to stick with mineral-rich water whenever possible. You can even drink what's called structured water, which there's many solutions online for, but most commonly for households, uses powerful magnets to alter the atomic structure, giving the water more charge as well. And if possible, you want to be in nature, connected to the earth, so that you are literally electrically grounded with your root red chakra wide open to sustain that tornado-like spin of your torus field. Otherwise, it will spin wildly off axis and out of control. However, I know the outdoors are very limited due to weather or accessibility in general, so it's important to know that if meditating inside, you can either buy or make your own grounding mat to sit on or place your feet on, or you can also buy or make your own grounding wire to wrap around your ankle or wrist. The wire plugs directly into the grounding port of an electrical outlet, which then links directly to the house's grounding rods into the earth, which every house built to standards does have. The grounding port is not hooked up to the positive or negative port on the outlet, so there is no risk of being shocked unless of course your electrician is a moron. I also want to mention that grounding is one of the greatest secrets of health being rediscovered by science all over the world right now, and I can't stress enough how critical it is that everyone look into it and investigate themselves, because it can seriously change your life for the better like you would never imagine. Check out the awesome documentary titled Grounded on YouTube for those that are just hearing about this. I also wear my grounding wire or have my feet on the grounding mat when I'm working on the computer or watching TV, and especially while sleeping. And if the wire bothers you, there's even grounding sheets and grounding pillowcases that you can buy as well. I lastly want to mention that I have had sleeping problems for years and years until I started sleeping with my wire around my ankle, and now I fall fast asleep and sleep deeper than ever. Definitely something to consider. Another important factor for bliss is avoiding trying to meditate around excessive plastic, or especially in metal buildings or surrounded by electrical smog such as air conditioners and electric devices like heaters, because they alter the charge capacitance in the air and create a state of disorder from fractality. You also want to avoid wearing synthetic clothing and stick with natural fabrics like cotton, wool, linen, and hemp is the best to allow your aura to breathe, because the synthetic fabrics suffocate your aura, which you can actually feel once you get more familiar with your body's energy. Another key component to achieve bliss is your own subconscious mind, which is also the hardest to attain. What you need to understand is that you are opening yourself to the universe here. So as Dan puts it, you are becoming shareable in the sense that you are sharing your mind with the collective consciousness as a whole. So any lingering fears or secrets that may pop into your mind during a bliss experience can cause your nervous system to flare up and snap you out of that centered stillness, subsequently causing pain as that charge loses its stability and flows wildly throughout your body. So this is why it takes time and patience to know when you're really ready and have learned to accept yourself for who you are and all the flaws that come along with you. There's many fears or regrets which we all have that can trigger anxiety at any moment. And when going deep into one's consciousness, we are usually confronted with any hidden demons, so it's up to us to truly forgive ourselves and others and accept things that we can't control. This is what I believe the original term to repent stems from, because to repent means to return to our original state of order. Repent, as in return to penta. Penta meaning 5, like the pentagon or 5-sided star we stem from, which I will cover more of in a later presentation. The next factor for achieving bliss that I want to cover is exercise and yoga. You obviously want to be in good shape to have proper health, and yoga is most commonly known to mean union, as in union of mind, body, and soul. And though I personally don't take yoga classes, I do stretch a ton in all kinds of ways at home, and it is a lifesaver that can really open you up and relieve the built-up tension in your body and mind. Especially once Kundalini begins to increase within you, you'll need to stretch as much as possible to keep that charge at ease. And finally, we have the conservation of your sexual energy so that it can be converted and transformed into the ignition force that drives Kundalini on up the spine. Many people think Kundalini is at its core purely sexual energy, but to me that's just one of the many subcategories of raw consciousness energy that it falls under. I'm not saying you have to completely abstain from sex, but just think of it as divine energy and should be used wisely. Use your best judgment is all. That's all the time we have for part 3, and in part 4 we'll get to the really good stuff that shows all kinds of tips and tricks to help you tap into this for yourself, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. I'm Chad Seymour Morris, thanks for watching.